Hello, Scorpio. It has been a while. But hey, listen, I want to thank all of you who've been sending me texts and emails and asking when I'd be back and give you readings. I have missed you. So, yes, this is what I am going to do now. I am back. So, let your friends, family know. And I'm going to compromise in the sense that since I'm using new software, you're going to get the raw files. It will not be edited. There might be bloopers and little whatever coming up under the recording, but so be it. Just laugh along. All right. And we'll take it as that. That just saves me so much time for the whole editing, rendering process. And yeah, what I'm going to do differently too now is I'm going to be sharing a screen with you so you can follow along as we look at your chart. For example, right now we're going to share a screen. I'm going to bring up your chart right here, Scorpio. Let me see. I'm going to let this one down and I am going to open up this screen so you can still see me. I'm going to bring up some annotations so that I can make little arrows and you can see the mouse here on the chart. And I will be putting little arrows to the areas where I'm talking, right? Now, we got things going on here in October that are special in many ways. First of all, I want to talk about the moons because we got two full moons this month. That doesn't happen very often. And full moons, of course, is all about harvesting things that been putting our intentions out for in the past, and you might see it now coming to fruition. That first full moon will be October 1st. It's showing up 9 degrees in Aries right there in your sixth house. So that has to do with your day to day work, job, routine. Not necessarily when I say job, not the 10th house career. It's the sixth house. It's how you lay out your daily schedule and so forth. It also interacts with how you are with your coworkers and so forth. And Aries is feisty, so you might feel a rush of energy coming in under this full moon, October 1st. And then the second full moon, October 31st, down here, 8 degrees in Taurus. For you, that is going to be in your seventh house of relationships, Scorpio. And this full moon is going to be even more, I'd like to say, important. Why? Well, it is because it's coming in with a conjunction to Uranus. Now, Uranus is that wild card. You never know what you get. It's like a box of chocolate. It could be good surprises. It could be difficult surprises like oopsie, and they're only a degree apart here, so you will feel that on the 31st, right? And since it is in the sign of Taurus, Taurus likes security and structure and grounding and so forth, right? So that might be a little disturbed with whatever now with Uranus, which is also retrograde, right? Um, but yes, this area for you is going to be very highlighted, and I always like to give it a couple of days on the full moon. It's like half a day before the exact full moon, half a day after that, because those energies are still going to be working and pulsing here for you. Um, this full moon, too, I would like to say, be aware of being too forward, maybe. And I only say that because Mars is in a difficult place. I want to jump straight to Mars. I'm going to talk about Mercury and Venus, too, of course. But if we look at this Mars, it is 25 degrees, and I'm going to bring up right here a line so that you can see that 25 degrees Mars, which is our action, it's our primer motor, right? It's that energy that moves us forward. It expresses, it moves. And since it's an Aries, it is a bit feisty, but it's squaring off onto, as you see down here, it's Saturn, which wants to restrict. Now, nobody really likes to be restricted. We felt a lot of that here in 2020, the restrictions, the lockdown, can't do this, can't do that. It brings up all that energy of Mars. And Mars isn't just square Saturn, that's governments and rules and regulations. We might feel that we want to kind of push those limits a little bit. That Mars is also square here to Pluto, right? And Mars is dynamite, Pluto is nuclear. Put those two together. The pressure, right? And especially because we've been under this pressure all through 2020, this is a time when those energies wants to come out and go really out to express, want to change, and it's like the old structures are being pressured from Saturn, Pluto to Saturn. Mars is not happy with it because that's our individual energies. Um, so, and crowds, Pluto rules crowds. Jupiter rules crowds. It's always big. Whatever Jupiter does, it's big. Pluto is crowdy. And then Mars comes in, and really things can go a little haywire. A little haywire. Especially with that full moon up there with Uranus, too, that we don't know what we get. I would like to say if you want to go and rebel and you have your own uh, thoughts that you'd like to express, and you're very expressive now because your stellium of that Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto's in your third house. So you Scorpios might feel that you want to be very verbal about what is right, not right, just, unjust. That's Jupiter. For you, speaking your truth is everything. Pluto wants to project that out, right? And Saturn could be holding you to it. And so I would just say if there is a need, a want to go out, and we're right before elections and everything too, the month before, just be careful going out to big crowds because Mars is not in a happy place. If something should go off, go wrong, of course, fire guns, Mars, right? Explosions, that kind of thing. We got that kind of thing going on. I would say keep your opinions, hold your opinions, share them in a safe way, but avoid crowds, please. All right. That being said, this is a time where we're cutting to the core from our internal ways of what has been important to us, what we're holding as truths within us, right? And wanting to release the pressure. And this is like a valve. It is definitely releasing a lot of pressure. So it's good for that, but we want to control it in a controlled environment. Kind of like have a safety valve where poof, 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 it can come out. So it doesn't just spew out. We can lose a lot on that. We can lose friends. you know, if we're really adamant about keeping to what we think is our truth, and we're very strong about that now with Jupiter and Pluto. Our truth is very important, right? And if it doesn't agree with other people's viewpoint, well, that can cause that type of separation. We don't want that to happen either. But third house for you, this is where the stellium has been working for you since top of the year 2020. I got a second video coming in behind this where we're talking more in detail and what this will mean for you and your individual sign in that video, where things are being purged and transformed, where things are coming down. And yes, we are seeing things coming down, but those things need to come down, right? As other things are coming to the surface, disclosure, that kind of thing, it is being cleansed. And cleansing isn't always easy, to say the least, but it is setting us up for what we're going to be seeing as the new norm down the road, right? So we want to be gentle. We want to be aware of what is going on. I want to go back, put up my arrow there to Mercury, because we have Mercury retrograde this month, and it will be retrograding down here as we see from October 14th to November 4th. So, anything you need to have done, get it done before the 14th, as far as contracts and communications, documents, and buying if you need to buy new things. Yes, we want to do that before the 14th because we can see sometimes they just have to be returned. They're funky, they're non-functional. Um, but, like I always say, the show must go on. Anyway, so we can't stop life. but just be aware of that. And then pick up, not necessarily on the 4th of November, give it a week, give it 10 days, just so Mercury can get out of its shadow. So it's really up and running and moving forward, because it's always when they're in, um, when they change from direct to retrograde is when they're most sensitive, right? So around the 4th will be sensitive, just like October 14th will do. Um, it's in your first house. So that is you, your I am, who you are, Scorpio. So you're going to see that communication this month is going to be extremely important to you. How you communicate, what you communicate, where it's going to, how you are coming out. It's the ascendants, how it's coming out to the public. So I feel this is a month you're going to be able to get a lot of things said and done, and that will just be really, really good for you. We do have, let me see here. Yes. And we do have now the 12th house being lit up. That's where the sun is this month, right? The sun is going through Libra, and it's in your 12th house. That is very, very, um, should I say, romantic, and things happening behind the scenes. It's not really out there in the rest of your chart. It's kind of like laying in here, the inner consciousness. And we got the new moon there. And I want to talk about this new moon because not only is in your 12th house, which is creative and spiritual. Um, when I say creative, it's in the house of Pisces. So it could be music, dancing, sculpting, arts and so forth. Um, but we always talk about placing one's intentions on the new moon. And I want to tell you a little secret because we've talked about the new moons and intentions for years in my previous videos. But what I want to add to it is yes, we can place any intentions on a new moon. And when we do that, we're asking the universe to bring it back, the law of attraction. But if your intentions are out and about around the different areas of your life, it may be a little slower to attract that manifestation. And why is that? Because the power is where the new moon is placed this month. That new moon is in your 12th house. That should be the priorities of your intentions of what you want to manifest, because that's where the power lays. Not only does it have the power to be with you to the next new moon a month from now, but new moons have the power to carry this intention from this very area, which is your 12th house, for a full year until we get a new moon again in your 12th house next year in 21, right? So let those intentions be the priority. Anything spiritual, anything creative, anything that's Piscean, anything that's romantic, idealism, your idealistic goals, that be top of your intentions for this month, right? And then next month, you can have a different set of intentions, which for you will be, of course, in your first house. So keep that in mind. Every time we have a new moon, where are the priority of our intentions going so that we can harvest, on our full moons a lot. So we have Venus up in Leo this month, and that is in your 10th house of career. A lot of you have been working really hard and been seeing results in September while Venus was moving through this area. But now you see it starts off top of the month at 28 degrees. And for you, that is, of course, your career, but it's going to be moving into your 11th house of hopes and dreams and social circles, friendships, and so forth. So get done what you need to get done in those first few days of October before you're going to have a full month of Venus now in that social area for you. And then, of course, a lot of you have been in lockdown. Maybe a lot of you haven't been able to spend too much time with your friends. This should start altering itself a little bit for you here in October, maybe making a little bit more, should I say, allowance to see each other, even though there is still social distancing. So that is all good. Then we have over here, we want to talk about Neptune, fifth house, it's been cruising there for a long time. So we're not going to spend too much time on it. You've been hearing about Neptune's been doing there for you, your creativity, children, and so forth. Um, and that's still ongoing, so not too many things that are popping out. The strongest things for you is what we have talked about, what's going on in your third house, communication. Pluto is there, and that Pluto comes in here after Neptune. I would say focus on this. For you, this month, best you can, lay low when it comes to short temper, short fuses, not necessarily just your own, but you can come to encounter, Scorpio, others people's short fuses. So I would say, um, yeah, be gentle with that. Understand where it's coming from. Try to not let it go get your goat, right? Because what can you do about it? All you can do, all we can do, is control ourselves, where we're coming from, and what we hopefully can bring out to the rest of the world. We're here as being part of transforming the new world, the new norms that are coming in. What do we see? What do we visualize? What do we want? How can we be part and be part of being a co-creator and bringing that new light, that new love, that new substrate that we're all going to be functioning from, right? So anyway, it was good to see you again, Scorpio. I will see you again next month, but go listen to your moon and your rising sign so you can see those other areas that are taking grip, big grip in your life, where those challenges are trying to transform, right? It will definitely show up in your moon chart. That's your emotional chart. Your sun chart is just the energy that you're portraying. The moon is how you're going to be reacting in October. It will show why you're reacting, where it's coming from, and then your rising sign chart, because that's where your energies are going to be projected. How is the world going to see you? How are they going to react and respond to you with what you are putting out there? So all three charts are important. And of course, go listen to your partner too, what he or she might be encountering here now in October. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing if you're new to the channel. And I will see you again in November. Bye now.